Okay, so we want to look for a pattern in the time series plot. And if we look at that, we can definitely see there's something going up about that. So we definitely got an increasing trend. So the increasing trend, increasing trend, increasing trend, that rules out A, which just says no trend, definitely a trend. Irregular fluctuations only, that's ruled out. So now we got to look at the rest of it. Now, if you look, you can see this sort of diving down is at the end of the year or beginning of the other year, like that. So you can see this regular sort of diving down, and it seems to correspond to the years. So that would suggest there's some seasonality. So seasonality, that rules out D. So is it C or E? Well, here's an important note that they put in the things. All time series have irregular fluctuations. All right, so what was I writing there? Don't know what I'm writing now. Irregular fluctuations. All right, so highlight that, but perhaps we need to writing. So it must be E, because they're saying where people went wrong was they assumed that this wasn't happening. It's always there. So A was never, can't be correct ever on a question based on that. Now we're going to do a 5 median smooth. When you're doing median smoothing, that's going to be on the graph. We've got to do it for August 57, and they've told us that the dot above 1957 is for January 57. I think we're going to need, as they say in the classics, a bigger graph. So let's have a look at this. Here is 1957, so this must be January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. Let's switch colors here for a minute. So that's August, and we do 5. We've got to have the 2 before on the line, following the line, and the 2 after. So there's our 5 points there. And if you can imagine, like, oh, you don't have to imagine this. If you have a line like this, they're just hitting across like so. So it doesn't matter where those numbers are, they might be up or down. You've got to find the one that's in the middle of those 5, and the middle of those 5 is that one. So if we go across like that, look, it's somewhere between 430 and I'll call it roughly 435, because that's 400, 410, 20, 30, 40, 50. So it's about 435. And then look here, there we go. It is a 435 is one of our options. That's all you had to do. Okay, so we need to find the Pearson correlation coefficient, and they give us the coefficient of determination and this equation up here, which seems irrelevant. They're trying to trick us. Yes, they are, but not that way. So we always know that the coefficient of determination is r squared, and we want to find r, so we just got to take the square root of r squared equals r, so the square root of 0.689 does in fact equal 0.932, and so we think to ourselves, hey, it's going to be E. What? Why is that red? What's gone wrong here? Well, do you remember that they say the square root of 9 equals plus or minus 3? So this should actually have a little plus or minus. Put the 1 there as well. And so which one is it? Is it going to be A or E? Well, when you've got a graph like this, if your line's going up, it's a positive, so it's going to be a positive R. And if your line's going down, it's a negative R. And you can tell whether it's positive or negative by the gradient. And our gradient is here, and our gradient is negative, so it's a negative line, so it's a negative R. So the answer is in fact A. Did you get sucked in and think it was E? That's why you like, click, and subscribe to Mr. Hill Explains stuff. Okay, so we need to find actual sales, and they're giving us deseasonalized sales for Q1 of 2.45 million. Obviously, we're going to be doing something here. Now, seasonal indices, you just add up how many you have, and that tells you what your total should be. So we've got 4 seasons. I mean, seasonal data could be monthly and you have 12 months or something, but this one, we know the total is going to equal 4. So if we do 4 minus 1.33 minus 1.45 minus 0.58, we get that equals 0.64. Not that. We didn't ask us to find the seasonal index. So that's not correct. And we know it's not 2.45 because it's not going to just give you the number. It's obviously give us some calculation. You've got to think to yourself then, how do we do this? So the deseasonalized, I always think that should be a Z in there, equals the actual. Now is it going to be times or divide? It is times the times the SI. So that's going to equal 2.45 times 0.64. And if you do that, you'll get yourself 1.57, and the answer is B. I think they've been quite nice, because if you accidentally do division, you'd end up with 3.83, but they put 2.83, so I think they've been quite nice in not putting 3.83 there for the people who accidentally divide. But there you go. The answer was B.